Pursuit is the third monster ever designed for Monster Crown. He's got that iconic sprite, right? That grin. Pursuit actually still has his original sprite from February 2016. There's only a couple of other monsters that share that distinction, and one is next week's Krissa, and the other one is Pursuit's big brother, Thirst. While Monster Crown is really deeply inspired by a huge amount of Japanese media, like Pokemon, Dragon Quest, Dragon Ball, Full Metal Alchemist, I always wanted to try to learn from both North American and Japanese design processes and hopefully uh, find a way to make something that is really identifiable as Monster Crown. One of those iconic comparisons between Western and Japanese media is that if you had two eyes staring at you in the dark, in a lot of American media they'd be they'd have their eyebrows frowning, like they're angry, but in a lot of Japanese media they'd just be staring, and it's sort of unnerving. We project so much onto the monsters and characters that we play with in games in general, and we want to read good or bad into them. While Pursuit's mood being malicious would fit with Angry Eyes, I also wanted him to be unnerving and a predator, and that if you were alone with it, it'd probably driven to eat you alive, but not because it's really evil, that's just what it does. It's kind of like if you consider a scorpion evil for using its stinger. At the same time, I didn't want Pursuit's eyes to seem like you could ever look at them to predict what it was going to do, and I didn't want you to be able to make eye contact with it because it's kind of like this unfeeling beast. So I thought I could really make it feel unsettling with these eyes and this sort of form of body. Pursuit does resemble Chain Chomp a bit. I have heard people say that, but that's not really the original intent. Pursuit's head is supposed to be just a little bit longer, like a snake, have just a little bit of a snout, which is hard to tell from this original sprite, and a lot of fan art just draws it as a complete circle, but it does have a bit of that tip to the snout. Early on, I envisioned a type of monsters that were mostly black, like Shadow, with an unnerving expression, and they'd be, well, not quite natural, and from somewhere a little bit different than all the other monsters. I can't say anything more specific without giving spoilers, but there was three monsters designed with this in mind, and the first is Hooclaw, the next bigger is Pursuit, and the biggest of all is the monster Thirst. Where these monsters are from is not currently known, but this was a bit of a torture pet for one of the previous evil philosopher kings. Pursuit's skin is supposed to be pretty black except where the light falls directly on it, then it glitters blue and purple hues. There's some very dark snakes in nature that I'll put up a picture of here that you can kind of get an idea of what I was going for. Pursuit's popularity took me by surprise, but his winning smile and Shad's art in the original Kickstarter campaign really sealed the deal, right? How can you not just get drawn in by that grin? How about that name, though? Well, I wanted to pick a short, striking name that described its behavior and made it seem a bit unnerving even in name. And I wanted it to be a name that wouldn't feel out of place in a Game Boy Color Pokemon or Dragon Warrior Monsters game. So Pursuit it is.